Hey, good morning. Welcome back to Morning Live. My name is Vosiwe Ngcobo for the Sports Desk. And a final look now to sports news for today. Now, netball is, of course, making its way up the ladder in terms of popularity in South Africa. And as we move closer and closer to the Netball World Cup, which will be staged in Cape Town, it does get underway on the 28th of July, running all the way to the 6th of August. The sport of netball is also moving towards being fully professional with our elite players under contract. We now look at the positive migration from being an amateur sports netball player to a professional setup. And to help us talk about this, we've roped in South African netball player Khanyisa Chawane, as well as Nkhwashu, who is a senior brand and marketing manager at Telkom, a brand that we know has always really been behind the goals here in South Africa. Now, Khanyisa, I want to start with you as we look at this conversation. You are part of the 24 contracted players by Netball South Africa. What difference does this make for you in your game and your career, being able now to focus fully on the sport?
Good morning. I think this is a very interesting topic, having to be contracted. As a player, I know going out, having to play on court, knowing that you're not getting anything out of it, you're just playing for the fun of the game, that is nice. But having to know that you've got support and you've got backing, and that every time you step on court, you know that there is that support that you need. You just play for something different, and you become that inspiration as well for someone out there who wants to become a netballer, to know that they're not just doing it for fun, they're gonna get the support that they need for them to become professional.
And can you suggest, as you answer that question for us, bring us more into your journey? How did it all start out for you? We know that it hasn't all been sunshine and roses.
I think for me, having to start loving netball at a primary level, it was really great to just play the sport and really enjoying the sport, to play with all your friends and people from other schools, your competitors, and starting to love playing netball with them. But I think the love that I have for the sport started in high school, actually, because that's when I had the opportunity to represent the national side at an under-17 level. That's when I thought to myself, maybe this could be something that I can really pursue. And going through with that, I got a bursary at the University of the Free State, and that's what I also loved about netball, that it gave me an opportunity to become educated as well, and having them to support me in that route as well. In my university years, my first year hasn't been the greatest as well, but I had the support from the university, from the players, to actually say one day you can become a national player. And 2018, I made my debut for the national player, and since then it has been great.
That's absolutely amazing, Khanyisa. And you must understand the type of inspiration that you are to young girls in South Africa. Martha, I want to bring you into the discussion. Now, we've seen Telkom pouring in a decent amount of funds towards the sport of netball. Talk to us about the decision to invest in the sport, which is high in participation numbers, but for some reason hasn't always attracted the same kind of commercial investment like we see in the likes of rugby, your cricket, as well as your football.
We are very proud to support netball as a sport. And really our decision to do this was looking at leveling the playing fields. I think sport is very important, whether it's female or male, but like you've rightfully pointed out, you know, the female, the sport hasn't really garnered or received the backing financially that we've seen the male sports received. So from our side, it was very important that we also support the girl child who's playing a female sport and tell them that, you know what, it is possible to play at grassroots level, but you can make something out of yourself and you can actually end up playing professionally. So it was very important for us to become a sponsor in the netball fraternity and also work on the development of the sports in South Africa.
Indeed. And Martha, just as we delve deeper into that and the investment that you've made into netball in South Africa, do you as a brand also have some plans to support some of the players and involve them past their playing days, because we know that their careers aren't that long?
Absolutely. I think for us, like I said, is really to support netball from grassroots, that's a development phase, right up to greatness and after that. So it's important for us that we not only nurture the young talent or the talent in its prime, but also, work with the talent post their career, because they'll be the one to inspire the young ones. So it's very important for us that we partner with them, go on a journey with them where we go to the different communities and inspire young talent. So definitely there are plans that, even post their prime career in terms of playing the sports, we will partner and work with them to nurture young talent in South Africa.
Oh, and we do certainly look forward to that. Now, Khanyisa, I know we touched on this slightly and what it means for you to now be one of the 24 players that are contracted by Netball South Africa, but you spent some time out in Bath in a fully professional setup. How far would you say we are compared to places rather like England? Because this is a type of competition that we do face, and we do believe that this does give them an edge over us. What would you say that gap is, having played against them and also been there?
I think to start off with the past few years with the sponsors that we've gotten, we are pretty close to what they actually really have. The only difference that I could say right now is that they don't have to go to work and also balance training. Training and netball is their work, so they can be training twice a day, where we have a disadvantage of having to go to work in the morning or having to teach in the morning or coach kids in the morning, and then in the evening, you actually have to go and put in some work for your own training. So that's the difference, is that they're getting really financially supported for them to just do netball right from the morning till the evening, the whole week. It's just netball, whereas we actually have to try and balance both.
Indeed. Martha, you recently launched a campaign, #StandTall. Tell us more about this campaign that you were launching and what really it stands for and represents for netball players in the country.
Sure, absolutely. We've recently launched our Stand Tall campaign. I think this campaign is really geared up into the journey of Netball World Cup, but even beyond the tournament. We've partnered with 4 brand ambassadors who are playing for the national squad, Khanyisa included. And what we really wanted to do was to inspire the youth of South Africa, both the girls and the boys, and just talk to them about this notion that your dreams are valid. With so much that's going on for our youth today in our country, the challenges that they face, it's up to all of them to really believe in their dreams, pick themselves up, and stand tall and do the things that they're passionate about. So the campaign really aims to inspire the youth of South Africa. We want to use the stories of our ambassadors in terms of the challenges that they have faced in their journey to become professional players as inspiration for young people in South Africa to say, your dreams are valid, you can do what you believe in, you can be made of whatever your passion is, but you need to stand tall with all the trials and challenges. Pick yourself up, stand tall, and anything that you dream of is possible.
Absolutely love it. Khanyisa, you are one of the ambassadors of the Stand Tall campaign. What does it mean to you to have been part of the players that are selected? It just seems like you're in demand, left, right and center, professional contract ambassadors. What does it mean to you to represent the Stand Tall campaign?
I think for me, the Stand Tall campaign is really one of my favorites, because it really gives me an opportunity to actually tell my story, and not only in words, but as well as in action. Having to have a story where you're coming from a background, I explained this, not having a mother, not having the best resources, and also not having, I'll almost say, the perfect body. You know how some people always look at it, you have to look a certain way, you have to come from a certain family for you to actually look eligible to be one of the players. But having the story to say, it doesn't really matter where you come from, it doesn't really matter how you look like. If you really have the heart and you really have a dream in your heart, you can chase it. And having to say, stand tall above all the circumstances, above all that you actually face, to become what you want to become. You inspire a lot of people. And I mean, we are the prime generation right now who's playing netball and can inspire. But if we can go back into the grassroots level, into the communities, and actually tell our stories. There can be that one girl. It doesn't have to be the whole community, but that one girl that will be able to stand tall and actually carry on with this campaign to inspire those that are coming after them even.
And you touch now on not having your mother, and you've used this though to help you do better, and you haven't used it as an excuse to say, oh well, I didn't have a mother, let me just not do anything about my life, but you've used that to help build you and also inspire other young girls.
Yes, definitely. I think we have or a mentality of having to say, if you don't have a parent, you don't have the support. But for example, with Telkom that's supporting us in netball, it's like that with family as well and friends. You always have someone out there, if you really look into it, that will always have your back and actually push you to your dream.
And finally, as I wrap up with you, Khanyisa and Martha, just your final words looking ahead into the Netball World Cup, which gets underway in July. I'll start with you, Martha.
Absolutely. I think for me what's very important is that we really as a nation and really support the ladies as they embark on the tournament. Telkom will be having a number of initiatives in terms of that support and bringing the country to support and stand behind the goals. And I think it's very important that we show them support. But to other big brands out there, as Khanyisa stated, I think consider putting some financial backing behind women's sports such as netball. I think it's very important that we support our ladies to the point where they are able to also compete with others who, like Khanyisa has said, their main focus from when they wake up is just netball. And I believe that as a country, we can be able to do that. We have outstanding brands out there that can really assist us to get that into a good space. Thank you.
Khanyisa?
I think for us as players, we are ready. We've been at camp. We've been really preparing ourselves to actually host one of the best World Cups and not only just be participants, but competitors. So we actually, from our side, know that we're going to give our best out there. And we just want our South Africa to actually really rally behind us and support us, because we're also going to do our part to make sure that they're not just there for fun, they're actually there to watch some good netball.
Thank you so much, ladies. And this is how we get into our Netball Fridays, joined, of course, on Zoom by Khanyisa Chawane, who is a Netball South Africa player, and also Martha Nkhwashu, who is the marketing manager out at Telkom. Thank you so much, ladies. Do have a blessed day ahead.